Since the last time we talked about driving in winter weather, we've had quite a bit more snowfall. With that in mind, we thought that it would be helpful to run another segment on winter driving. This time we'll be talking about basic automotive physics. To understand how your car will react in different situations, it helps to have a working knowledge of physics. In fact, you probably have that knowledge already, but you've just never applied it to this situation before. Let's take a look at the laws of motion. Newton's first law of motion says that an object at rest will stay at rest unless something causes it to move. Easy enough, the engine moves the tires which propel the car. However, the first law also means that an object that is in motion will tend to stay in motion unless something causes it to stop. Again, easy, right? The brakes stop the tires from rolling, and the car stops. This works because of friction. That is, the tires have friction on the road. When it snows, the friction is reduced, so your object that is in motion will stay in motion. And that doesn't just mean that you'll keep moving, it means that you'll keep moving in the direction that you were already headed. In most cases, this means you'll be moving in a relatively straightforward path. So when you try to hit the brakes and there's no friction, you simply slide in the direction you were going. What are ways to remove this problem? First, know if your car has anti-lock brakes. They'll help to keep your tires moving rather than simply locking up. If you have stability control, your car will analyze data to keep you on what it calculates your path to be, which is helpful if you're turning and braking at the same time. Of course, the best ways to deal with this forward momentum come from how you drive. Give yourself plenty of time to make maneuvers and come to a stop. The first law of motion also explains why you can get stuck in snow when you've been parked. When the car is at rest, it's going to stay that way unless something causes it to move. Normally, your tires against the ground will move you forward, but the slick snow means that you'll sometimes find yourself moving nowhere. Luckily, we can use the first law yet again to get unstuck. Make the most of any movement that you are able to make. If you can back up just a few inches or move forward a few inches, you should be able to use the momentum you gain from moving back and forth to clear a path, a little bit at a time. Eventually, you'll be able to build up enough momentum so that your object in motion stays in motion, right out of its parking spot and hopefully onto some drier ground where the tires can find purchase. Another thing to talk about is your gas pedal and how you use it. When you have a rear-wheel drive vehicle, you'll need to be slow and deliberate when you get on the gas, otherwise you can easily fishtail. In this 4x4 SUV, the power is biased towards the rear. See how much I have to fight the wheel when I push the pedal to the floor? Now imagine the same thing, but on a road with other cars or people around. It's easy to see why you want to be slow on the throttle. If you have a front-wheel drive car, you won't experience this problem to the same extent. Since your tires that are steering are also the ones powering the car, you're never going to overpower your steering and you won't go into a slide. In fact, staying on the gas is the best way for you to avoid spinning out in a front-wheel drive car. If you're close to spinning in a front-wheel drive car and let off the gas, you can cause a weight transfer which leads to the rear tires losing traction. This is called snap oversteer and it can be very dangerous. The best way to learn about how to drive in the snow is simply by doing it. Try finding a parking lot or another large open space where you can explore how your car is going to respond to different situations. You can learn a lot about how it's going to handle at the limit, and you'll have a better idea of what to expect when you're on the road.